Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is yours truly, Marvin Crazy Crawford of Straight Jacket Communications, also the author of How to Find Success by Losing Your Mind. We were talking about losing your mind and what the book entails, and I decided that in doing presentations and doing talks to the masses, particularly since I have to address 100,000 people this coming year, 2020, that I would bring massive, or as much as I was able to, in terms of value, in terms of what is really valuable to you, what could be valuable to you concerning your purpose, your mission, your assignment, the reason that you were invented, created, born, realized. And I wanted to let you know at the same time that there is such a value that's innate in each and every one of us. We come to the table with a value, but somehow in our lives we're told that we don't have it. We don't have it. There's an awesome book that I read back in college when I was there for the 3 weeks. And it was called Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And it spoke about many things, but one of the things that it spoke about is when oppressed people gain power, for the most part, they are, or usually becomes, the greatest oppressors, as opposed to the opposite, which you would think is true. If I'm under such rulership, such dictatorship, then should I come into power, then of course I'm not going to do that to people, to myself. I'm not going to get that big-headed, and nothing could be further from the truth, according to this book. It's Pablo Freire. But the other thing that I found important in this book was it spoke about the educational banking method. And I bring this up for a reason in terms of how to find success by losing your mind. I want it to have a meaning for you and to your lives, your family, fortune, and your future. And he spoke about it being a banking system, the educational system, because we're kind of taught that we're empty vessels, that we have nothing, and if we're not for the educational system, if we're not for school, then we would not know anything, and nothing would be further from the truth. You and I come with certain innate abilities, now, granted, we might need school to help develop them, and the social skills that we pick up in learning and meeting strangers and sitting in different classes with people from different walks of life. We might very well, and I would even argue that, say that we definitely would benefit. However, what about the other part, the part that the genius, if you will, and I use that term very lightly when it comes to us humans, but the genius that is in us, no one, nothing, or very few sources speak to it and encourage it and enhance it and grow it, particularly exponentially, to become a force, the force that it was most likely designed to be. And in my book, How to Find Success by Losing Your Mind, there it is right there. That's the present cover. We're going to change the cover, and I'm going to find something a little bit more radical. Now, well, not so much radical that touches you. So I'm doing a survey now, too, to ask those of you who, what ideas would you have for book titles such as How to Find Success by Losing Your Mind? And mine's just a straight jacket with a man screaming, and somebody asked me why was it a white man screaming, and that made no difference to me. But the core subject is more importantly, why don't we speak to or speak from that genius that we are? Now, I started not to go here because I'm not going to really start by calling us geniuses. I think that is a verdict that would demand evidence. And when you look at some of the things we do, there is little evidence to back up genius. So when you hear me refer to genius, it's probably in the stage or the form of potential. And potential is something that we all have. It's unspent power, unexpressed genius, unexpressed articulation, unexpressed, unacted on, or not acted on, not acted on power. But I might have to cut that part out. My brain just went somewhere. But so if you were to express your genius, if you were to express, and you lose the idea. I mean, you're in school and you're learning things some things that you'll never use again. I still don't know why I learned anything about Fernando Soto, why I had anything to do with many of the science projects never really came into play again. History was just, for the most part, to me it was a waste of time. It didn't benefit me that I can see, and I could be wrong, but I like being wrong now too. Because once I escaped the egos of what, the masses, and that's how we move in masses, and we're taught in masses. And I once read somewhere where it said the average individual goes to an average school, taught average or common school, common lessons by common teachers, get a common job, in a common average home and education, live a common and, regular life, get ill, go to a common or average doctor, and die and married in a common grave. Now, yeah, that's an option. But if you decided you were going to lose your mind, say for instance, you decided that you were going to get into life wherever you are, wherever you're coming from, whatever your past experiences are, and you're going to go for the gusto, as it used to be said, go for everything that you know, everything that you don't know, everything that you know that is possible, that has happened in the life of others or has not happened, but you decided you're going to go. It's at that point that you're crazy. It's at that point that you'll see the definition, the dictionary definition is to be distracted with enthusiasm or excitement. Now, when you think distracted from what? Distracted from all else. Distracted from every reason that you can't do. They say that we look for thousands of reasons and we come up with thousands of reasons why we can't do a thing when all we need is one reason that we can. That's all we need. So, how to find success without losing your mind. We're going to, and I'm going to start reading a couple of chapters on and off. And if you don't like it, just you don't have to watch it. But that's what I'm encouraging you to do too. Go after your audience. Go after your people. Go after your clientele. Go after your business. Go after your. You're probably no more ready than when you were some time ago. And there's a mental leap that you're going to have to make in order to begin to start the process. There's a young man on YouTube. He's actually everywhere, and his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he gives seminars, lectures, however you might want to put it, worldwide. And he grew his father's wine business from $3 million to $60 million, and his aspirations are to I think he has his own company, I know, Vayner Media, which is in excess of, I believe I heard somewhere like $200 million. And when you're broke and you hear those kind of numbers, they don't really You just know Rich. He's very wealthy. He's very wealthy. And one of his aspirations is to own the New York Jets. Now, I said all that to say that not only is his information online absolutely free, you have the likes of others. You have Les Brown, who's been around forever. You have Tony Robbins, who's been around forever. You have Brendan Burchard, who's been around quite some time now. You have Alex Mendoza, and I haven't heard from him for a while. And then there's a couple more that I'm not thinking about right now. Willie Jolly out of Washington, D.C. Some are motivational speakers, some are business entrepreneurs, and yet, what I was going to tell you about Mr. Vaynerchuk, he gives these talks around the world, and they pay him very nicely for an hour or more of his time, very nicely. He most likely makes in an hour what more than 90% of the world makes. In a month, he could probably make an hour, or what they make in a year, he'd make in an hour. Okay. Here's the crazy part. Here's the part where you and I are a part of. We're suffering from the disease. The American disease is, he says on a regular basis that no matter what he talks about, no matter what advice he gives, no matter what insights, what proof, how many details he gives you, how he walks you through it, holds your hand, and almost makes it virtually free or almost free to do what was impossible just a few months ago, a few years ago. He says 99% of people won't do it. Now that's crazy, because these people are distracted, and I'll go back to that educational system. If we're not him, we don't think we can do it. If we're not at that level, we don't think we can do it. He wasn't always at that level, but, so we find these excuses, and the best thing that we can do is realize that all you need and all we need is all we have, and all we have is enough. All we need is all we have, and all we have is enough. You never saw, I don't care where they came from, anyone starting with more than they had. All they had was all they had, and that apparently was enough if they got to the other side of the accomplishment of their dreams. So the purpose of this talk is to give you the direction in which I'm going, the direction in which I intend to go. 100,000 people. Will everybody like me? Hell no. Will everybody find me interesting, intelligent, or subscribe? Hell no. Will anybody find me? Will everybody find me interesting? Hell no. But I can tell you this. The moment that you and I get out there, the moment you and I begin to dance like nobody's looking, remember that old phrase, in loving like it's never going to hurt, the moment that you and I begin to commit, then we will pick up with the traction, with the movement, with the activity. Remember, we won't be one of the 1% who won't do, who will only listen. I mean, you can go to Facebook right now and get any sort of, any collection of wise saying. Wise. We've become so not only opportunity blinded, but wisdom blinded. We can hear the most profound things, like somebody said, the mind that has brought me this far, or the mind that has brought us this far, has created something this mind can't solve. The mind that has brought us this far has created some problems that this mind can't solve. So whatever mind brought us here we are. And it brought us here because that was the capacity of that mind right at that time. And we have got to do something to it, or allow something to get into it, in order for us to elevate and go higher. That's why you might say, well, that's not no Einstein to, that kind of statement. Actually, it is. It was Albert Einstein who made the statement. So in terms of living your dreams, living your aspirations, writing your book, singing your song, starting your business, you have to start somewhere. Start right here, today. This is Marvin Crazy Crawford. How to find success by losing your mind, straight jacket communications. I have every right to be crazy because normal just won't do. I wish you the very best, and I'll be talking to you soon. I'll even get better than this. Take care.